everybody. I know this is already the last part, the last thing on the agenda, and well, to be honest, I'm already feeling sleepy, but after hearing your chants here, nagising ako. Anyway, when Jack requested me to talk about, to give this talk, I said, what's the topic all about? And she said, it's racing F1. I said, what's racing F1? So I Googled, and I found out that what racing F1 means is, what nawala? Nawala. No. I think it's up. It means, huh? Wait. Okay. The highest class of auto racing for a particular classification or category. That's, I think, a single-seater, no, category. So that means that we are aiming for this racing F1. Maybe in the past, what we did was to race F4, we increased it to F3, F2, and now we're aiming for F1. Possible? Possible. Yeah, very much possible. Now, when you say it's a race, what are we racing towards? It's racing towards the finish line, right? No? But there are two components here. Okay, we're racing versus time. Why time? Because we have to achieve our targets within a period of time. But what's important here, I feel, if we really are racing F1, is to achieve our targets or to reach the finish line ahead of time. We shouldn't be waiting for the last minute to do this. We should do all the preparations this early, which we are doing, by the way, so that to enable us to reach the finish line ahead of our competitors, way ahead of our competitors, diba? So, before we begin this next leg of the race, or before we continue on, I just would like to pause at this time. You do your some introspection also and see, are we ready? How ready are we? Okay, without even before the next slide, you see that for the past 2 days, the AMs have already undergone training, no? And it was really so energizing for me, no? And very uplifting to see that what we're doing now is what the big companies, the multinational companies are doing. And for me, this morning, I was kinda, as I was sharing with Sir Mike, I was kinda, not really teary-eyed, almost, but somehow I felt like, wow, this is what we used to do when we saw the video. It was a beautiful video. I like the video. Congratulations, Martin, for that. No? So I said to myself, Cord Life is the company that it is today. In the past, we were struggling. We were in the dark. We had a lot of shortcomings, a lot of problems, a lot of challenges. Now, we're beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And all it takes for us, really, is just to join hands together and do everything we can to ensure that we finish the race. Ano yan? Sabi niya, strong. Okay. Now, I'd like to go back to the theme last year. I remember that so well. We talked about the values that, we should be at the forefront of our minds, the values that we should instill in ourselves, the values that we should that should guide us in all our endeavors. No? These are the values of integrity, commitment, and unity. And you might say, we knew that already. That's something we know. Yes, but we cannot overemphasize the importance of this. You know why? Because this should always be at the forefront of our minds. We should be able to imbibe this day in and day out. We should not waver in all our, in doing all this, because this should be our guiding principle in doing our work, no? Integrity, unity, commitment, and unity. What's integrity? Just a run through. Integrity includes what? What does it include? Consistency, right? You have to be consistent. What you do, it should not only be done now, tomorrow, stop. It should be every day. It should be consistent. You should be consistent day in and day out. You should be consistent. What you say is what you must do. You must practice what you preach. And the second component is honesty. What is honesty? Give me just a keyword for honesty. What? Being
Truthful.
truthful. Yes. What else? What? Transparency. Yes, that's good. What about the next word is authenticity. What does authenticity mean?
Real.
Real. Yeah, you're genuine, di ba? So we're highlighting these things because this is what our customers, external, internal customers will see. If we don't do this, we don't practice this, then we lose our credibility as managers, especially as consultants, whatever position you're in the company. Okay, then the last one is discipline. What is discipline? What's discipline? We are trained to follow a certain course of action or a certain code of behavior. And if we do not, we must be ready. We must be prepared to be sanctioned. I mean, I don't want to say punishment, but we must be responsible, accountable for our actions. So these are the things, no? That commitment, you know, what is commitment? It's just being emotionally, physically, intellectually bound to a course of action, a project, or an undertaking. And when you're committed, you put your whole self, your whole being into it, no? Without any let up. We shouldn't be derailed. If you're committed at all costs, I heard one of the HOD saying that even at night, the people work, even on weekends. That's what you call commitment. You are always, you do not count the cost, you do not complain, you do it wholeheartedly. And that's the most ideal thing, no? If we all have that, wow, it's really going to be a very, very ideal situation for all of us. You know, Sir Mike would always tell me, you know, the people that make up this company now, we have the winning combination. But sometimes, of course, some people give up. That's why we have the resignations. Why do they give up? Because for greener pastures, conflict of whatever, interest. It's conflict of interest. But so for so many reasons. But for those who are here, please, do not despair. Of course, there are times when we get disenchanted, we get disappointed, we get disillusioned, but that's temporary. All things will come to pass. But it would be a lot better if you just hang on, because the company loves its people so much and they're willing to give so much, all of you. And of course, in response, of course, to this, we should also be able to give our full commitment to the company. So we're just going through this. We talked about it last year. Now, the next one here, I remember I crafted this. I said, I see you. Then Renan said, Ma'am, why I see you? I said, because at this point when we are struggling, there's so many challenges, the company needs to be placed in an intensive care unit where we have to give it our very best, our care, our love, and our support to make so that we will be able to see through the difficult times. And I think that based on the figures that were presented by the HODs and Sir Mike, you see, Concord Life is definitely a ride. And it really, I'm beaming with pride when I see this and when I see all of you, because I know truly that you are the people that were placed here for a reason. Okay? So this one is to prepare us. Now, I'd like to ask you the question, what must we do to win? Okay? So there has to be some preparation, like what we're doing now. This is what you call classroom training. But more importantly, there are other things that you must learn to do to ensure that a respectable and a strong finish. Okay. The preparation, the mental, we prepare for this, we train, practice product knowledge, and then we have physical. What's physical? Are you all fit to be able to finish the race? Because sometimes we have a tendency to abuse ourselves, like we stay up late, we don't diet, we don't exercise, and what happens is we get sick, we don't have complete rest. So these are the things that you must prepare for also. Now, very important is the psychological aspect. I'm sorry. It's after preparing, you already have all the knowledge in your mind. It's very important to put this into practice. No? We train ourselves to execute, to implement this, to anticipate all the possible problems, the potential problems that may arise out of this. We anticipate that, as Sir Mr. Cavada said yesterday, especially for the AM team, you don't go to the doctor's clinic. Just like that, you wake up in the morning, just barge into the doctor's clinic. You have to plan well for it, anticipate all the objections of the doctor so that you can come up with the right solutions to the problems that you will encounter. Maybe objections of doctors. Because the problem is, when you're in the doctor's clinic and you're not prepared, chances are you will not get the sale or you will not get the sign-up or the endorsement of the doctor because you're not sure yourself. No? So here, practice always makes perfect. That's why we are undergoing all this training to make you better equipped with all the knowledge, the skills. Now, psychological. Okay, a lot of the things that we do are dictated upon by some mental beliefs. No, we for example, you're not able to ask doctors. I'm sorry, I have to refer to this AM team because this is the most recent example that we came up with yesterday. Sometimes we do not ask for the sale. We do not ask questions because there's a fear in us that doctors might get mad or we don't know what to say. So these are what we call self-imposed limitations. You don't want to be courageous enough, to be bold enough, no, to make that move because there are some things that you fear. So I'd like to tell you this: your beliefs become your realities. If you say you cannot do it, then you cannot do it. But if you believe that you can, you will be able to do it. So that's most important, you know. That's why it's very important to do self-talk, especially if you have problems with a client. I remember Zen and I used to, way back when, we would say that there's a difficult client. I don't know if I share this with Zen. Before you talk to a client, visualize the client, talk to the client in your mind. No, you're preparing yourself for that difficult situation where the client might get mad, might raise his voice, might shout, might tell you to go out of the house or something. You prepare for that because you are somehow psyching yourself up into believing and thinking that you can solve the problem. So not a lot of people do this, but for me, based on my several years of experience in sales, this is one thing that will help you because as you think about it, you're doing visualization techniques, no? When you go to the doctor's clinic, somehow you'll be more confident. So if, for example, you cannot talk to a difficult doctor, the top doctors, because they got mad at you, just think about it. The doctor is, even at this stage, doctors still get mad. I still have to face difficult doctors. And sometimes, even if you feel that you can do it, sometimes you're just a human being. You can also get irked by it, and it diminishes your confidence. But if you do visualization techniques, it's very important. Okay, your beliefs become your realities. No? Your outer world is a reflection of your inner world. If, for example, you cannot, the way you talk to doctors is very disorganized. Okay, that reflects what goes on inside your mind. That's why it's better always to prepare for it. And mental health. Now, all of these things that we're saying is will help you achieve a positive. Will help you develop a positive mental attitude. PMA. I remember, where's Isa? Isa, that read, what do you call this? That lecture given by that girl. Remember?
Personality development.
The personality development. I was particularly struck by what she said. And that's why what I did, I shared with the team of Renan when I had the chance. I said, much of what we do, what we accomplish, is dictated upon by what we have in our mind. So I was telling them, for example, you've had a bad day. It was a very bad day. What do? Do you let it affect you for the rest of the day? You have a very bad start, Very bad start. The traffic was bad, you were late for a meeting. When you got in, some of your people were absent. and you were left alone, so what do you do? How do you shake that, how do you flush that out of your system? It can be done, it can be done. You have an appointment with the doctor, you were late, the doctor shouted at you, but you have to see 4 other doctors that day. So what do? Here, what's important is you're aware that you have to overcome that situation. That's why it's very important. Have you heard the saying, action precedes the feeling? Supposing it was a bad day, for instance, and then you're so mad, but you know you have to talk to Sir Mike because Sir Mike scheduled a meeting with you. What do? You just try to be positive, and the first person you see in the office, you say, "Hi, Neo."